There's a strange man hitting my boat. I'm not quite sure. I think I should tackle him, although he's got a hammer. Here is Onderneming. She's in the dry dock. Lots of work going on. As you can see behind her in the distance, you have the dock gates, which are keeping the tide out. It's actually quite high water the other side. And having been down inside as well, there's quite a bit of water coming through, but that's to be expected when you're holding back a sea. Anyway, so there she is out of the water, hull all blasted, and there's lots of work going on. You probably can't see it on here, but there are people crawling about underneath, welders and riveters and what have you. There's also a guy up on the bow there in a high-vis jacket, communicating with somebody down below. So they're doing various hull inspections down below decks as well. But there she is, looking very dry. First time she's been out of the water in 4 years. No, 5 years since I bought her. And we'll go down and have a look. Well, here I am in the dry dock in Lowestoft, rocking a very good look. The high vis and the hard hat. It's called a dry dock because it's dry with wet bits. If I turn around here, this is the dock gate. If that gate lifted right now, I would have to start swimming very quickly. As you can see, water still comes through, but it's actually high tide now, so the water line is way up there, way up there. I am many meters down, and here it all comes, and then it all goes off down there somewhere. Anyway, so back to Onderneming. The guy over there in the high-vis jacket is doing ultrasound on the hull to test the thickness. As you can see, she's been completely blasted, so all of the anti-foul has been taken off, and she's having some work done on the hull. I don't know if you can see them. There's a couple of welders underneath, and so they're busy riveting, and they'll be doing some welding once the guy doing the ultrasound has identified any spots that may need redoing. There are markings, as you can see. He's chalking, and what he's doing is he's putting the thickness of the hull at various given places, just so that we're aware of the hull thickness, because it will differ as she sits in the water right across it. Just down by the other vessel is the main surveyor, a guy called Stefan, and this is Pete in the high vis doing the ultrasound. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to now scoot back off to Wood Farm HQ, and then hopefully come up next week and drive her back.
And there we have it. This is Onderneming with a big red shiny bottom. She's been plated, riveted and welded, all nice and safe and secure now, and she's been anti-fouled and primed and painted and looking rather magnificent, I think you will agree. The irony, of course, is all this is going under the water and won't be seen again. It's a bit like spending a fortune when you're building a house, and all of the money on the foundations just feels like a waste somehow. Anyway, there she is, all done, ready to be floated and set back out to sea.
Here we are waiting to come out of the dry dock at Lowestoft now. That's the gate there. We've just had permission from the Port Authority to move it. I don't know if you can see that it's moving, but it is. So we're just waiting. We'll be a few minutes anyway, because there's a large commercial vessel coming through in a second. But we're going to be waiting for this to open, which is opening now. So they're literally manually opening it up. So we are now afloat, having been in the dry dock for the best part of a couple of weeks. Tide's on its way in, so they start flooding it early, and then once the level gets up, then they've got no pressure against the gate, so they can open the gate up and let us out, but we can't go out yet. We've got to wait for this other commercial vessel to come through before we move. We're actually only moving just up the road slightly here. We've got to wait then a couple of days for decent weather, but they wanted us out of the dry dock because they need the next paying customers in. So that's where we are right now. I'm not sure if you can actually hear me because it's an incredibly windy day. We've just come out of the dry dock and we are now heading actually inland, believe it or not, because we can't go out to sea today. It's way too windy and a bit rainy, or it will be later on. So we're now going west so that we can moor up for a couple of days on a berth up here somewhere over on the right, and we'll be moored up for a couple of days, and then hopefully at the weekend we're good to go weather-wise to get back down. Well, here I am on Lowestoft dock. It is 5:30 a.m. It's quite a crisp day, but the wind has all gone now, and here we are, just here. There's some new bridge works going on over there, and then we have to go down to the next bridge and then out to sea. So we're just preparing the barge now, waiting for it to be light. We'll fire up the engines fairly soon and get underway, but it does feel very windless, which is a good thing compared to yesterday, which was incredibly windy, and I was getting a little bit concerned. But it is very, very cold. Hope we have a nice bright day, so we will see how it goes. Just in case you are not aware, the sun is coming up over there. You're obviously aware that the sun comes up. What I mean is, just in case you're not aware, this is the east coast of England, Great Britain, and it's the most easterly point where the sun comes up, just a little bit further up the coast, I think, or further down the coast. I can't remember which. Or obviously up the coast because it's over there to my left. But it's the most easterly point, so it's the first bit each day that the sun hits. Is just over here, and as you can see, it's looking quite sweet right now. So the barge is starting to move now as we're hitting waves, and this is the port entrance just here that you can see. So we're heading out. There's a buoy right out there that you probably can't see on this, but we have to go round to the left now. There's a buoy that marks us going round to the left, and then we've got to go right past the buoy that's over in the distance. And there's an enormous sandbank here, but I'll wait until we get out and you can just see where the sun is coming up. We'll start to move about a little bit now as we hit the waves. It's incredible that these waves that don't actually look much on here can have such an effect on a 120-ton barge, but they do. So it's looking a bit choppy out there, but we've only got about 5 hours of it, so it'll be fine. But look at that sunrise. A friend of mine was supposed to be coming with us just for the ride, and when I told him what time we were leaving in the morning, we met. I met with the crew over in Snape at, I can't remember what time, 4:30 or something this morning, and he wasn't so keen on getting up. But to me, that was worth getting up for. I had an alarm set for 3 o'clock just in case I wasn't already awake. This is why. And there is the aforementioned sunrise. Beautiful, beautiful. Still a little way to go before we can get into the river. But a little bit of headland that you might be able to see in the very distance is Felixstowe Docks. We don't go that far. There's a headland just before that, which is the edge of the River Orr, that then becomes fairly choppy, and it's now at least a bit warmer than it was, because it was flipping freezing. Here we are, safely back in the River Ald. We're going through some very tight spots at the moment. I've been kind of pointing out these, for those that don't know, sticks either side are called withies, which is our guidance as to where we're actually going. So we're then going to go through these, and then we've kind of got a hard left. We're going to go around there, over to Icon Church over there, and I can't see Snape Maltings yet. I know where it is. It's there. So we're doing well. We are doing well. This is seriously dicey here. So we've come from there through here. It's very low water, so we're way ahead of schedule. So you can see how shallow it is just there. I don't think we're going to do this in one hit. Wow, look at that. I've never seen that before. That is just bonkers. So we've now got to go through here and then hard round to the right. We did just see 3 seals. They're underneath us somewhere because the sight of us coming round is quite unusual to them, and they decided to get in the water and hide. So we're now coming round here, and then we've got to go round, then hard left, round to there. That's Icon Canoe over there, and then we've got some more navigating before we get to Snape Maltings. And I can see the Maltings right in sight behind the skipper there. So we're getting there, but I do think it's going to take us a little while because we're going to get grounded soon. But that is the plan, and we are way ahead of schedule. So we've had a cracking journey down. We'll see what happens in the next half an hour. It's very, very windy now, so you may not hear me, but finally Snape Maltings is in sight. Just over in the middle there. You might not be able to make it out on here, but I can tell that is Snape Maltings, so we are nearly home. Crazy tight here now, as you can see. I can't think that we've got much water below us as we go around these channels. Basically all we're doing is being impatient, because we could wait for an hour or two and then just go in when there's lots more water, but we made good time, so the rationale is just try it. So these withies here have got red markers on it, which means that we need to leave these to our port as we're coming in. I'm amazed we haven't got stuck yet. We're going to go hard round to the left there. We've got some more wash down here, look. And then Snape Maltings is over there. Snape Maltings. I'm just prodding its head. Around here we've still got some dodgy bits to go, and it is fairly low water still. High water's probably still I don't know what the time is, but probably about 3 hours away. So I don't think by the time we get to the Maltings we'll actually be able to get to the quay, but we'll see what happens. We are on the final leg of the journey. It's still incredibly tight, but there is Snape Maltings. And two gentlemen watching us and photographing us and filming us who've been with us for a little way now. We've still got a few, actually literally just 2 corners left now, but they are so tight. And I don't know if you can see these withies. So we've got one here with a red cap on it, and then the next one we've got to stay on this side of it, and then we've got to then go hard left round to the next one, and then I think from memory we're on the home run, so way ahead of time. I'm not saying we've got a skillful skipper, but how's that? 94-foot barge, and he's missing these by inches. Port starboard, yeah. He might not look clever, but he is. And here we are on the home run. There's been quite a few people dotted along the river bank as we've just arrived here. And there's looks like a bit of a welcoming committee up there at the quay. So I shall go in a second, because I've got to get on, jump on the quay and get ready with ropes and all the rest of it. So hope you have enjoyed this return journey. There's a little swan there just waiting to, he probably wants to guide us in, I would think. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this, and hope we can entertain you on another day. Au revoir.